What's going on, y'all? It's your girl Shawna Speaks, and this is the Male and Female Perspective Podcast. And I'm here with my dope co-host, Jus Comply. What did do, Comply?
What's going on, Shawna? How you doing? Happy
I'm
Wednesday.
Good. How are you? Happy Thursday. We're back, y'all. We're back.
Shawna, it's Wednesday.
Oh, it's Wednesday? Oh, I thought you said happy Thursday. I don't know. Happy Friday, happy Saturday. Happy everybody, y'all. You know how we doing this show. Let's go.
Let's get it. I would like to thank everybody for coming through. This is the Male and Female Perspective Podcast. My dope co-host, Shawna Speaks. Myself, Jus Comply.
What's up, y'all?
Today, our subject is going to be finances and relationships. Finances and relationships. When do we start talking about them? When is the appropriate time? Before we get into our subject, though, I'd like to thank everybody for coming in, for joining us, for subscribing, for following, for liking. We definitely appreciate everyone that has come through, that has supported us. Anyone that, has left any comments, statements. Definitely we've listened, we've heard, we've been on a little hiatus, for a little bit, but we back on schedule.
We back, y'all, and for our podcast people, we are live on TikTok right now. So if you hear us talking to the people, it's because we are live on TikTok. Hopefully, it will be live on YouTube soon.
Yes,
and
definitely.
We are definitely talking about finances. When is it appropriate to start talking about finances in a relationship? I thought this would be a good topic to start on live, because I know a lot of people have that question. We got a male and female war going on right now, and I really don't know when is appropriate time to talk about finances in the relationship. To be honest, I don't know.
So that brings up a question, because I always wonder, like, people say they don't have the time to waste, right? You don't have time to waste.
Time is money.
And And if someone has bad credit, bad debt, bad whatever, that is going to be a deal breaker from you, right?
True.
So when is the appropriate time to start bringing that up? Because if you know that's going to be a deal breaker, is it okay after 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months? Because if it's a deal breaker for you, if it's going to be a reason for you to walk out the door, knowing that,
tap the screen.
Old boy got a credit score of 510.
Not 510. Okay, look, not 510. It can't be like 600.
I'm just saying, they steady taking the tax money and stuff like that because he owing.
Okay, so this is how I feel. I feel like, okay, this is how I explain it.
Okay.
I never really cared about a man's finances, because the guys that I've dated and had serious relationships with, they were all employed, and just from their demeanor, I knew they wasn't broke. And and when you get older, credit score matters, right? And I don't even think credit score matters. It matters when you about to get serious. It don't matter over the third date. It matters when you decide if this person and you are gonna date exclusively, because I don't think a lot of stuff should be spoken about your private matters within the beginning of a relationship. Some things you just need to hold on to until you find out. It's a lot, because we as women, we talk too much too fast, and that's our problem. We tell you our whole life story, our dog name, what our kids is, what color we want the wedding to be, and y'all still on What's my favorite color? That's just how I feel. We talk too much. Let's be real. We as women, y'all out there, we talk too much.
Okay.
So yeah.
But then my question becomes,
Hey y'all, thanks
okay,
for joining.
so if finances is a deal breaker, financial peril is a deal breaker for you, and you've worked hard to get to where you are, right?
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily meaning that the other person isn't working on their credit or doing anything like that. But if you know that, okay, going if I'm dating you with the intent of something serious, right?
Yeah.
At what point in time do we start having those type of discussions that is going to either positively or negatively impact the relationship that we have built going forward? Because I'm gonna tell you, like I would feel like it's a waste of time if we are a year in talking about possibly moving in together or whatever, and then I
Oh,
come
that's
to
too
find
long.
out,
That's too long. That's
right,
too long.
right. So then the question becomes like, when is it appropriate? Because it's going to no matter at what point you speak on it, it's going to be a difficult conversation because not too many people want to talk about finances like that. But
Yeah,
when
because
is
they
it?
know that they finances ain't financing. That's why they don't want to talk about it. I can talk about mine because I'm good. That's
Right,
the
right.
problem. You
But when
so
you're fiscally responsible, of course. But let, let's not say that as if everyone is that way, and or everyone that you're going to get with is that way. So then
well,
it
that's what I'm
becomes
saying. I have those. So I mean, I haven't. So this is how I feel. If you know you're dealing with somebody and you just casually dealing with them, there's a lot of things that you're never even going to cross the line of talking about, right? Because it's casual.
right.
Because you're not going to express your finances, politics, religion,
Hmm.
culture, family values. Those are all personal, important things that you are vulnerable to speak about.
Right.
Because one of those things will make you or the person either draw closer or not draw closer, right? You might have
Hmm.
a political view. You might be a liberal or you might be a Democrat, and this person is dead on in their politics. And you saying that you are a Republican, and that's it. They don't care if you're the best person in the world. That one little thing. So there's a lot of things that I don't think we should divulge when we are talking in the beginning. But once you decide, hey, this person is cool because now you're seeing
Hmm.
my morals and you're seeing my virtue as a woman,
Hmm.
and you decide as a man, okay, I'm really feeling her. There's a conversation that we would know that we're getting there. That's why you're supposed to date with purpose. And dating, like we said on here before, dating is data. This is the
Right.
time when you talk about the hard things. You could
Right.
segue into finances. Hey, so what do you think about? This is the cliche. What is your 5-year plan?
Hmm.
If you don't hear nobody saying they want to get a house or they trying to open a business, these things require good credit. So
Hmm.
now you can take it and you can segue into so what do is your credit score important to you, or what do you think about that? It's questions you can ask to get the answer
Hmm.
that you need is how I feel, instead of going, so because like you said, people are uncomfortable about it. But if you mature, like you said, I don't think there's no it's not a hard thing to talk about. It depends on what degree we're talking about it for.
Right.
No.
And I agree that you have to have some type of tact when, when having that particular type of conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But what I find a lot of time in these conversations is that people try to avoid them as much as possible, even though we know how where your standing, your financial stature will determine whether or not, for a lot of people, whether there's going to be a relationship or not. And what people don't want to do is, like, I don't like the notion that, where people are saying like, well, I don't care nothing about another person's finances or whatever else like that. Well, you don't when they're not a part of your household, right? Because
Yeah,
that's not your debt, that's their debt or whatever. But if
absolutely.
you're talking about something that is, like
Hey,
you're
Thina.
intending to start bringing forth a marriage or a commitment to each other, whatever, then you can't just separate their debt and your debt, their issue, their financial issues. Like it's the equivalent of a person that cannot budget at all. And
Absolutely.
you know
But
what I mean?
yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So we're talking about that. That's when you're dating with the intent to marry, dating with the intent for commitment, right? Because I mean, everybody may not want to be married, but maybe you just want a forever partner. So yes, but even when if you're not getting married, then your debt don't have nothing to do with me if we're separate, right? But when we start to live together and then we start getting things in our name together, which is very dangerous if you're not married. So don't do that, ladies or men. You start to have this conversation because I think, like, young men y'all know from the gate within a week, maybe even the first conversation, what this woman is going to be to you. So now it goes on, is all predicated on now is this woman somebody that you do see in that future? Again, there will be telltale signs that we would know this, or we should know this by now. We're in our 40s, like we're not kids. Right. There's no more playing dumb, right? I know now from experiences what a guy think I'm supposed to be to him. The same way as you think what you want us to be. Women should know by now when a guy's playing games, because there's questions that a man would ask if he's technically into you, right? Or he's definitely into you. He want to know certain things like that, like your credit score. People out here worrying about body count, but you ain't worried about your credit count. So, you know, like that's what I'm talking about. Because if you worried about that, all you gotta do is just take me to the doctor. We could get tested together, and then you be fine with that, right? But I can't go to the IRS and ask for your credit score. You gotta tell me that.
Right.
Come on, like what are we doing now? Like, let's be real. We grown adults now. We're grown adults. The things that, hey Bree, there's things that we should be more focused on. And I'm gonna say it again. I believe that I can have an intellectual conversation with you right now, because I've came on here and showed you some of my stuff to pull you in for financial literacy. So I believe that it's not a secret. It shouldn't be a hard topic. I think it's only hard when you know that you're not where you want to be, and you know this thing may push this person away because you see that they are doing their thing. That's why I think it's a hard topic to talk about. Finances. Hey, Bree.
So do you believe that
tap in, Chad, tap in.
It's just simply the people that aren't, up on top of their finances, that, maybe upside down, or might be living above their means or whatever. That's the people, like, because I mean, I think there's an uncomfortability. It's like you said, it's an uncomfortability with that specific topic, regardless of whether or not it is finances, religion, politics. Like those are always those.
Yes, those are the right.
Yeah, the ones where people get fiery or whatever else like that.
Very passionate.
The quickest. You know what I mean? And if you don't know, if you're not financially literate because it hasn't been taught to you, you've been dealing with mom and dad and uncle and auntie who they go by the check cashing, place or whatever. They don't believe in IRAs or anything else like that.
They don't know about it. When did we find out about it? Let's be real. When the first time you heard about an IRA?
When I started working at the job that I'm at now.
Right, me too.
You know what I mean?
Right, I know what a 401k, please. Let me say this, not get in trouble. I've been in the books. So I'm going to say.
Right.
I don't know about that. Taxes? What?
Right.
Thank you, Godfather. I'm just saying. The first time I heard about stocks, I ain't gonna lie. When I was in this, when I was in junior high school, we talked. Thank you for sharing the live, Lori. When we were in economics class, and we were told to bring $5 to $10, and to show us how to bid on stocks. We had a advisor that came. This stock might be doing good, and he probably left with the little kids' money. I don't even know. All I knew is that I understood what it meant to write a check. He showed us how to write a check. He showed us how to bid on stocks. It was Benetton and Oshkosh back then, and certain Nike that was going when we were younger, and we bid on it. He was showing us how the stock market did with penny stocks. So I heard it then. But in your family is supposed to push you forward. That's why it says in the Bible that, that a wise man leaves an inheritance for his children's children's children. Right? So the money that we're talking about, that's right now, so another reason why I think a lot of people don't want to talk about their finances is because a lot of people got some finances. So if I tell you what I'm really making, then you may be vulnerable to being taken advantage of, especially men, because a lot of women are out here trying to dig in your pockets. So again, I don't want to tell you. My credit score, like you said, is 510.
And you know what? That goes to what one of my people in the comments said. He said, once you ask me about my money too early, I'm going to automatically disqualify you.
See, that's what I'm saying. So it could be what you said, Yathina. You said the connection is bad or your connection is bad. I absolutely agree, right? Because let's be honest, all of us that are financially stable, financially aware, and financially literate, right, or have intelligent, there is a type of paranoia, right, about talking about your finances, and then there's a freedom because you're not a part of that crew anymore. Because we all was there before. We all spent bad. We all didn't manage our money.
Yeah.
When we got our taxes, we was buying belts and little stupid stuff out there. We did these things when we was younger. And some of us did it in our 30s. So we're not that far removed from being...
Some of us still are doing it. And we're in our 40s and 50s now.
Exactly. Yeah. I wasn't trying to embarrass us, but you are absolutely right.
We call a thing a thing. You know what I mean?
Hey, Scooty Boots.
And that's why I say, like at the end of the day, like because so many people want this microwave relationship nowadays, right?
Yeah.
If you want the microwave relationship and that debt and debt and bad credit and stuff like that is going to be a deal breaker for you.
Right.
If you want the microwave relationship, then you have to be able to have that type of conversation, because if not, then you're wasting your time. Like you're kicking the can down the road for what reason? Like if you know that bad debt is already a deal breaker for you, and this person has bad debt, well, then that just saves you from wasting however much time that you waste with them, because that's not where you want to be,
True.
So that's where I constantly, battle with. Is like, okay, I get what people are saying, because, you don't want to give people intimate knowledge of, what you got going on too early.
But you have to eventually.
But at the same time, what is an appropriate time? Is it okay after month 1? After month
Chad,
2,
what you think is appropriate time?
3?
Tap in.
What is an appropriate time to let them know, like, yo, like, nah, I'm good?
I think by month 3, you should know where you stand with a person.
Okay.
Right? Because right now, like I said, I'm not on the dating scene, but I'm there, but I'm not like actively looking. But if it happens, it happens. Whoever I date next, I am dating with purpose. Right, okay. I'm laying my cards out on the table because I'm 49. I don't all that other stuff. I'm not playing games again. So let's weed out the weirdos and the brokies and the manipulators and the women and the men. Let's just weed it out, because eventually MFers just don't want to go through the process. Right, they don't. The process starts with you, because you know your credit is wrong, or that you can't afford to not live with somebody. You got roommates and mama mates and sister mates because you live with your mama still or whatever. No shade, because a lot of men have been through divorces, and unfortunately y'all get it through the worst because y'all have to go back home because the judge gave everything to your wife or ex-wife because she got the kids. Right. So you do go back home. So I'm not a judge with that, but I'm saying is how long you going to stay on your mama couch? Like, there's got to be a time where you got to say, you know what, I want my own. And your own now requires, back in the days, you just have about 3 times the rent while I live in Brooklyn and you can move in. Credit ain't matter. Now, credit matters. Eviction on your credit report matters. So yes, we talking about credit or dating. Sorry, Ricky. We talking about both. Because dating and credit and finance is the same thing, Bree. So So basically, it can't hinder you, but you know as an individual what your credit score is, right? It don't matter if you got credit cards, and I know you got some. I know some grown men that don't even have a bank account.
That's what I was just talking about. That's what I was just
In
talking
your
about.
40s,
Like,
and you ain't got no Wells Fargo, no T-Bank, you
no,
ain't got
nothing.
nothing. You
Yeah.
you doing Cash App?
You still doing you still doing the joint with the check cashing you know what I mean, going to check cashing place.
But they doing Cash App. They doing their Cash App.
Yeah. Like, and I mean, I'm not knocking anybody, but if certain things are a deal breaker,
Thanks for the love.
right? And that's where I go. It's because a lot of the time, people don't like to admit that certain financial situations, because not everybody's built for, like, especially if you've been broke and you've gotten to a sense of stability, right? You don't want to go back to a sense of where it feels like, you know what, at any point in time, they could come and turn this off because you don't know how to money manage. Right. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to go back to that once you have that sense of peace where, you know what, every time that I hit this light switch, I expect the light to go on unless the light bulb is off. You know what I mean? Like, that's the only reason why that light should not come on. Or if I turn this faucet on, I expect water to come out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, when I've gotten to that type of lifestyle where that's my comfortability, anything that opposes that is now something I can't deal with, because I don't want that. I don't want to go back to the struggle if I've already been through the struggle.
But do you believe that in a conversation with a woman sitting across from the table, just like y'all say, oh, there's things about a woman that let you know. I mean, I've heard men say, not you say it, but that they, there's things that women can say if to let you know they promiscuous, or that woman that's not wifey material. Do you think you could sit across from a woman within a couple of weeks or even months, and y'all could tap in the chat and see how financially stable or not she is by the conversation she keep?
Yeah. Yes.
And
I definitely can.
Like, what do you mean? Like, how do you think?
Because one of the the key things is if you consistently telling me about stuff that you got that you need assistance with. You know what I mean? If you always needing help, oh yeah, I know. You know what I mean?
Yeah. For me, it's let me borrow this, and when you borrow, it be like little numbers.
Bar joint. It ain't even a bar joint.
No, for a man, for me, like for a man, it's borrowing. Now, if you borrowing $10 and $20, like if you're gonna borrow something big, because now I know you really in the hole, but not $10 and $20.
Right.
So that's when I know that you don't have it. Because if you ain't got $10 to $20 before payday, and y'all can tell me if I'm wrong, I can tell that you find your finances ain't where it's supposed to be. Because I remember when I was living paycheck to paycheck, and I would go to the corner store, and I had a job, but it was just that I wasn't making the money I was supposed to make, and my rent was more than what I was getting. But I hustled. I had a credit with my corner store when I was in between. If I needed something, dog food or something to get me over to the next week, I'd rather do that with the store than, hey, say, let me borrow $20 till tomorrow. That sounded real crazy to me, and I never did it. So I knew then when I needed $10 or I needed $20 for my gas tank, I wasn't where I needed to be. So now I had to flip some things around and budget more things, like maybe leave my car parked and take the train and the bus because I can get on there for free because of my, where I work. So things like that. So you balance out to have that extra $10 and $20, So that's how I knew. Hey, Skippy, thanks for joining. That's how I knew where it was when you start asking me for $20 till payday. That was like, that's crackheadish, if I can say that. I don't know if that's a word, but yeah, that's
yeah. And like it tells me that you're not fiscally responsible because like you I mean, like, unless there's an emergency situation that it happened that you know what I mean. And see, I'm a person that you don't want to ask me for money. You don't, because then I become a federal credit union. You know what I mean? I got a whole bunch of questions. I'm dead serious. Like, I got a whole bunch of questions because here's what I think about that.
Isn't it dependent on the person's character though? Because you could tell if you're gonna get your money back. You could tell you get your money back.
If I got a rapport with you, that's a completely different
right, and you know, right? You're like, oh, they must be really down bad.
I know you ain't you ain't the type of person to just call and ask me for something
right.
like, you know what I mean? Like I know you, like, right. But for others,
you must be really messed up.
I'm gonna turn to the Federal Credit Union because I need to know everything. I need to know your plan as far as to how why I ain't what you know
what's going to
prevent you. What's going to prevent you from coming back to me? You know what I mean?
Right.
Because and I don't want to be a reliance. You know what I mean? Like I don't want you to feel like, you know what? Now at this particular point in time, every time I go into a situation, and you know, I can go ahead and this is going to be my safety net. No, I don't. I want you to dread having to ask me, so that way you can use all your resources that's available to you before you come to me. You know what I mean?
True. Yeah, I get that part, but yeah, you definitely could tell. You know, and then you also could tell. So I went on a date. This was like years ago. Mm-hmm. This is when like dating online became a thing, right? For the busy people that couldn't get out. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, you ask somebody, so what's your favorite food? So if I'm telling you what my favorite dish is, that means that you probably going to take me to a restaurant that sells that or caters to what I like, right? To impress me. So it was seafood. So if anybody's from New York or the tri-state, everybody know about City Island. In the Bronx, right? Where all the seafood restaurants is at. As most of us go, unless we go to Long Island or we go to Nordic Lodge. So that's where he took me. But I was raised by my grandfather and my grandmother. They always say they never go out anywhere with a man without having any money in your pocket, because they may not have enough, or they may try to be cheap with you and you want something, and then you know they think that you being a gold digger, but you could pay your way. Right? Or help with the bill, whatever. That's what I was taught. So I'm like, okay, you taking me to if you're taking me to Sammy's, okay, which one, the left one or the right one? So we went. So we sitting there, and I ordered what I ordered, and I knew from what he ordered that he didn't have enough money.
Okay.
He ordered fish and French fries from Sammy's.
Okay.
Nobody goes to Sammy's and order just fish and French fries.
Unless you're not really a seafood person like that.
He was. Yeah, we're not doing that. No. So I sat there minding my business. Now
that would be something I would order though, like because I'm not a big seafood person at all.
I'm gonna finish.
Okay.
So he's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna get this. Like he reasoning with himself as he looking at the menu. It ain't just. You know, you can have that, but I mean, you going to Sammy. So I ordered shrimp, and I had I think a steak or something. I ordered what I wanted to eat because I knew no matter what the bill was gonna be, if he couldn't, I was good. I was not gonna sit up there and not eat what I wanted to eat. Thanks, Bree, for hitting it. Thank y'all. So I ordered what I wanted. So now, when I knew he really didn't have it, it was when the bill came, and I had ordered something to go, but I said put that on a separate bill. Right? He said, get what you want. Mine was reasonable. What I ordered was like about $50. It was reasonable for the seafood. I didn't go off. I wasn't one of those people.
Right.
But he had to pull out 2 credit cards to pay a bill that wasn't even $200. And I asked him, I'm saying, hey, you want me to pay my portion? Because, you know, I didn't want to emasculate him. But you could see that, you know, because he already had Rain checked it and said, oh, somebody's checked income. That was another thing. So it was always something. The money, like he didn't have it. So you know certain things dealing in a relationship or trying to date that the person just don't have they finances in order. And this man was older than me.
Right.
Needless to say. So I try my best to stay feminine, to not get upset, but I knew that was going to be the last date.
Okay.
That was going to be the last date. Right. Because you ordered something very cheap. I ordered the latter part, and then you still didn't have enough, and we wasn't even drink. We didn't drink no liquor.
Right.
You know. So yeah, that was bad. That was not. That
also, do you think that? I mean, like, so the assumption is that he will, he was broke. That's the assumption. You know what I mean? But I mean, Could there possibly have been a conversation in regards to why that was the case? Because I mean, you never know what a person going through.
So Bree said, long as he made the payment, I would have mentally noted it and asked questions after the fact. Yeah, no.
That's what I was.
It's not my business. It's not my business why. It's not, because we've been talking on the phone for 3 weeks and you done rescheduled once already for finances. So what I'm saying is that if I'm remember, I was not financially stable in that point of time. I was on my finances. Mm-hmm. I just want a man to have his own. It's not about I'm going to do for me regardless of the fact. It was the fact that I didn't want to sit at a table with somebody that didn't enjoy what he wanted to eat, because we had conversations about what we liked. So to sit there and order fish and chips and take me to Sammy's, that I knew that his fine, and then they had to pull out 2 credit cards. So it wasn't nothing. It wasn't nothing for me. It wasn't my responsibility to ask her, because now that's embarrassing to say. So what happened at the table? No, I just paid and left a nice tip, and that was it. It was embarrassing.
If you're going to invest, because I get it that it was just 3 weeks, but
yeah, he was a seafood eater, Bree. Yeah, he loved seafood too. That was what we had in common. That was what I'm saying. But okay, what you said, Comply?
What I'm saying is that even though I understand where you're coming from, that 3 weeks wasn't a long period of time or whatever else like that. I think that the rush to judgment in regards to, what, because there could have been something that happened that put him in that particular strait.
So don't take me out.
That would have been understandable.
Don't take me out.
That's a hard line in the stands. That's a hard line in the sand, though.
So listen to what I'm saying. The first time he rescheduled was something about finances. So now you decided to take me out because it's been the second time you would have rescheduled on me, and it's still about finances. So the question that we're talking about today is, how can you tell if somebody's not financially in their place? So I have a right to not want to deal with sitting at a table and having somebody struggle to deal with me. That's not fair to me or him. So I did the responsible thing, was the fact that you are not financially, you shouldn't even be dating if you got to pull out 2 credit cards, because you knew that you didn't have the money, and I didn't order nothing big, and you ordered the minimal of what you liked. So that told me that you didn't have enough, that you couldn't even order the seafood the way you wanted to order it, and left it on me. That's like going out and somebody eating a salad and water. Come on. That's not fair.
Yeah. So it said maybe he shouldn't have put himself in that predicament to take her out. If that's not going to be her, okay, all right.
What he said, it's not going to be my what?
It's not going to be her. If that's not going to be her, I'm not sure what.
Yeah, like I said, it wasn't. The thing about it is that we're saying, like when you talk about finances, and we're saying sometimes finances come up, and you don't even have to have the conversation. He already rescheduled the first time. It was about finances. Then he finally took me out. So that's like right now, if I say, hey, I'm going to take you out, right? And I say, where you want to go? I'm praying to God that you don't say you want to go to expensive restaurant,
like that. Yeah.
Ruth Chris, right? Ruth Chris ain't even like that. Right, Tavern on the Green, or you want to go take a flight somewhere. But even if you did, I opened up myself to say, where do you want to go? Or and you tell me the restaurant, I take you there, and then I'm gonna tell you what to order. Now, if you go to Ruth Chris and you want the tomahawk steak, which is $139 a steak, and everything's a la carte, right? Who does that fall on? Me or you?
Right. True. One of my people said he saw her as being more valuable than she saw him.
Well, guess what? He didn't have the money, and that's not my responsibility. That's not my responsibility, because think about it. You know what I saw for my future? That every time we sat, he would have to down himself in order for me, and I don't want no man to ever do that. I don't want you. I don't want you to have to struggle to take me out or impress me. He tried to impress me, and it failed, and he didn't have to. He could have took me to Red Lobster, and I would have been fine. You decided to take me to Sammy, so it's not the fact that I didn't value him. I knew that he didn't have it, and that would be unfair. Right. So it's some women out there that don't care about that. They're like, oh, I'm gonna still deal with them, and no, I don't want no. That's like a man buying me a $3,000 bag, and I go home and your whole furniture is less than what you bought a bag for. You impressing me? That's a turn off. Okay. That's what I'm just trying to say. So it was more about he struggled already.
If he bought you a $3,000 bag, but he's sitting on lawn furniture in the house,
it's over. That don't make sense.
You
Come
ain't
on.
gonna give him no play, really? Like
that means you maxed out your card, sir. So now you got furniture in your house, and I'm holding on to this bag. I'm gonna take the bag back, and we gonna furnish your house.
So the man can't get no play on the crates.
No, that means your priorities is wrong.
Right.
So what I'm saying, and like what I'm saying, and I love the feedback. What I'm saying is that I knew the man was struggling I can't go through all because I don't make it about me, but the conversation was more than just what I'm saying. I'm just giving you what at the table. He pulled out 2 credit cards. He already rescheduled, and he downed his own order when we talked about what we wanted to eat.
Right.
And so obviously something must have went wrong or is wrong, and he tried to impress, and that's why he probably was on a date in that. And then on top of that, not to make it about it, and his breath was horrible.
That's what it was.
Nah, it was both. Like you're gonna be broke and your breath and your hygiene messed up.
Hold on,
no.
you ain't gonna I ain't gonna let you ride with this one. He had to pick a struggle. You can't be broke and your breath.
Man, that garlic was holding on to that tongue every time. All his W's and his H's.
You were sitting downwind from it, and
right here, like across the table. And you know the garlic is garlic, but
that's what I knew. There was something else.
No, that ain't only it. But you gotta have it's the first date, right?
She said he didn't have a lick of seafood, but his breath smelled like it.
All you had was fishing and some garlic bread. That garlic was in there living, man. You know you sitting there talking to somebody and you get the woo, you like, you forgot what you about to say? I was like, oh snap. Like, no, he had garlic. Okay, he had garlic. I couldn't.
Yo, this is.
And he had a nerve to try to get a kiss at the end of the date.
You know what? You should. Why?
Get somebody else to do it.
Why not? That man did spend up his 2 credit cards trying to get you dinner.
For $110 meal? No, we're not doing that. No, we don't drink. No liquor on the table.
He earned that kid.
I don't care what nobody say. I got my rights. Okay.
You know what?
That's why you go. No. I'm selfish.
He's selfish.
How?
I can't believe you. I can't believe you.
So you wanted me to suffer?
You should have gave that man a kiss at least. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you know what?
No.
That man didn't get.
He wasn't ready.
Cards trying to get you.
But he knew he was gonna do that though. No, look, I don't want you to go to take yourself and put yourself out of order just to be with me. That ain't how. That no woman should want that for a man, regardless if I'm gonna be with you or not. That's messed up.
No. Look, he said, you know what?
Ain't that what a simp? That's simping, right? Ain't that considered simping?
I don't know. I don't know. You know,
I don't know.
I don't know nothing. I just know that
we talked a little while after that, and then he faded. You know, he faded to black.
You could have let that man go ahead and give him a little sugar.
Sugar? You mean garlic and honey?
Man could have got him a little sugar after that date.
He needed sugar. No. So to answer the question, I found out about his finances on the first date. Okay, I knew it. I knew. Yeah, he didn't have it. He didn't have it.
But
struggle love don't start. You know what struggle love start? Struggle love start if y'all came in the relationship together and y'all was doing fairly okay, and then somebody lost their job or got sick, and now you struggling. That's struggle love. I'm not coming in with you struggling.
Right. Yeah.
That ain't my responsibility.
Yeah. That's not. Yeah. I agree.
That's not. Thank you, Bree, for supporting me. That ain't my responsibility. I don't care what nobody say. A Delton is a Delton.
Yeah,
I didn't get it from the table. I didn't order nothing on purpose. I even left the tip so he didn't. I ordered my food on the side and paid for it myself. And I even offered, you know what, because I was trying not to make him feel what I saw. Right? Because another one was like, I was sitting there not having a good time, dealing with his odor, right? And smiling and trying to talk. And I was ready to go.
You know what?
We came in separate cars, thank God, because I would have been lit up in that car. Nope.
Jesus is not pleased with you.
Jesus, please, because
Jesus is not pleased with you. You treated his son like that. You could have gave him some sugar. Now, you know that's the least. That man earned that sugar. After I'm
gonna say this to you. We're not gonna talk about smells. Okay, Comply. Okay, let's talk about your childhood. Don't you go there. Okay, with your pretty little lie. Okay, made you turn your whole life around. Don't you play?
This ain't about me, though.
No, yeah. Well, let's not forget. All right.
This ain't about.
Because you my friend. I ain't gonna spill your tea, but clock that.
This ain't about me, though.
An odor is an odor.
You ain't lying about that, dog.
Come on now.
I ain't gonna lie to you.
Let me tell you something. If he didn't have financial problem, that would have been a problem too.
Yeah, I get that.
Let me tell you something. We know what garlic on a fresh breath smell like, right? Mm-hmm. But when it's not on a good breath, even if you just brushed your teeth 20 minutes ago, when you get out the car, you gargle a little bit more to make sure you fresh when you meet this person.
Mm-hmm.
You double check yourself. You do your little,
definitely.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
You perspire. You scared. You nervous.
It's like Pops on Friday said he might have had them bad guts.
Them guts was, yeah. I don't know. It was either bad guts or one of them little demon tooths in the back. Something's going on. It's like Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh my God! Yeah.
You ain't gotta wait that long, Bree. You ain't gotta wait that long.
I appreciate everybody coming through. We're talking about finances in a relationship. When is the best time to talk about it? When is the best time to talk about it?
But you didn't answer the question. When is the best time for you?
In my view, it's as soon as you feel as if you want to take things to the next level, as far as to what's up, T. Davis? As far as to getting to know that person more intimately, right?
Okay. Ivo, swin.
Because I think that it's necessary for yourself and also for that other person. Don't waste each other's time, you know? Like, if you know good and well that it's a deal breaker for you to be in a financial rut or strain, then you know what? When you're starting to think about taking that next step to exclusivity, then we need to have these kind of those are the tough conversations. I don't need to know nothing about what your favorite color is and all that other stuff. What that Credit Karma score look like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Or TransUnion or whatever. Experian. You know what I mean?
What's your FICO? You know what FICO is?
You know what I'm saying?
Can you spell FICO?
You know what I'm saying?
Do you know it's 3 different ones? Do you know?
What is your retirement plan? You know what I mean? Do you have a retirement plan?
401k, 457.
Are you putting money back for yourself? Life insurance, things of that nature, because like those are important things.
Yeah,
you know
that's
what I mean?
Right. That's true.
Like, it's going to determine how you're going to live, especially because we're in our 40s and our 50s, so we're staring down retirement in no time.
Like
and
this,
how you know what I'm saying?
In it. What? I'm right there. I got 17 months.
You know what I'm saying? And how you live your life going forward is going to be dependent upon the available income that you're going to have coming in.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So you can't be making these foolish decisions, all rash and stuff like that. And, you don't have money for this or that or whatever, and, medical expenses and all that other stuff that comes about. So, you need to have that conversation just on the strength of, we're going forward in this particular direction. I don't want to waste your time. I don't want you to waste my time. What it looked like. Give me a picture so that way I can make a decision of whether or not.
But what questions are we asking though? Because remember, like, what are we saying? What's your credit score? Like, is that the question? So what's your credit score?
Not necessarily that, but what's,
hey,
like you said, the what's the 5-year plan look like? What do you see yourself? What and what steps are you taking in order to make those things happen? You know what I mean? Like, don't give me the grandiose, because I need to know where your knowledge base is. You know what I mean? The grandiose is, I want to be in a house with, with my kids and and all this other stuff like that. And then meanwhile, your credit score is at 480. So
you went down. It was at 510.
Right.
Why you keep going down?
I'm just saying. You know what I mean? Like I need to have concrete solution, because okay, what are you doing in order for you to get because 5 years go by fast, right?
It does.
And when you have low credit score, you need to jump on that ASAP. You know what I mean?
That's right.
You need to jump on that ASAP so that way you can build to something better, or whatever the case may be. If you can't envision it, if you can't do it, then who else can? Right?
But do you think people are sitting?
Those conversations? Huh?
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So do you think that there's some people that just comfortable where they at, and they don't look, and they're not looking for anything bigger than the picture that's before them? They are very complacent. Because I got some grown people that are fine with having a 480 credit score, and because they're not looking for anything that they need that will affect them with credit. They're not looking to buy a house. They're not looking to buy a car. They got people that is willing to co-sign for them, that keep enabling them in certain situations. So do you think that there's more people than not that don't really care about their finances? Like things that we just talked about.
I think that a lot of folks don't realize the importance of certain things until they have it. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't realize the importance of having good credit until I had good credit. You know what I mean?
And so what it does.
And no one taught me, one taught me the importance of it. Like, it was somebody else that I worked with that told me about his journey with bad credit, and him, owning his house and things of that nature, that even got me interested in it, on how to work on mine. And then he gave me free game. And so then I started working on mine. And so, and now I'm paying it forward in regards to, okay, you know what, these are certain things that you can do so that you can work on your credit and things of that nature. But for some people, for certain folks, I would say it's a lack of knowledge of financial literacy, and it's in the importance of it. Then for other people, it is stagnation. You don't even care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for those people, I say, you know what? Do what works for you, but it wouldn't work for me.
Right. That part.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I say that that's a. Go ahead.
So how about if you find somebody that credit is not great? Right, because I hear a lot of men say, "Oh, we don't care about a woman's what she makes," right? But if you don't care about what she makes, then why do you care about her score? Because, like, it's, to me, finances is one and the same. Whether you're talking about credit score and how much she makes, right? So if you find a woman that credit score wasn't that bad, but she had all the other qualities, well, it was kind of bad, but she had all the other qualities that you like that could be a potential mate. Are you willing to help? And she don't got no debt. Like, say she don't have no school loans or anything that can affect your life.
Oh, are you willing? Worked on right there. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you willing? Are you willing to help her, show her how to do that?
Because that's another thing. You don't know. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
You don't know what you don't know. So if if you got bad.
Hey Virgo, thanks for joining.
Bad debt or whatever. Bad credit. But you don't got real debt like that. Just miscellaneous stuff that's on your credit report or whatever. And then you got old stuff from back in the day. Okay, we can work with that. You know what I mean? Like that. That's not, because I got it in the mud myself. Right. You know what I mean? My credit score was at 540 45, something around there or whatever when I started working on it. You know what I mean? And so I know what it takes in order to get certain things off your credit score or whatever else like that and get it to where it needs to be. So, we can work with that just as long as you have a willingness to work on it.
Me too, you know Trees. I need to pay my credit cards down too. So basically, you're saying is like credit is not a deal breaker, but debt is.
Debt
and depending on what kind of debt, right? Because school loans, everybody got that.
Student loans is understandable. You know what I mean? Like that you better in your education. I'm not going to ever knock you for that. So you know what I mean? That's what that is. But when we have multiple medical and or child support or whatever that may look like,
that's
a
whole other situation.
You know what I'm saying? Like. Because at the end of the day, you pick up when, especially if you're talking about building a future, you pick up that debt.
Tree said, "What my student loans is?" No. We said that debt, certain credit scores is not a deal breaker, but the debt is. We said except student loans because we know that's one of the hardest ones to really get. Like we didn't ask for it. It happened to us, right? So we're saying no, student loans doesn't. But when you get married, in order to get married, it affects you because your husband, that your debt becomes your mate's debt. So it will disqualify you if you're not currently paying in it or you are backed up. Then it will. It depends on who you're dating with, but it might disqualify you because your debt becomes his debt and vice versa. She said, I got a $200 medical bill. Am I disqualified? You said $200. No, you better pay it. It's going to be on your credit score. You don't want that. You better start paying it.
Let's not go to the fantastic. You know what I mean? Like, that.
No, that ain't going to disqualify you.
No, you know what I mean? But you talking about,
she laughing, she playing.
You always owing, always owing the IRS. You know what I mean? They always take it, taking your income tax, or
but that don't mean you got bad credit. That means you make too much money.
Not so.
I owe the IRS. Once I started getting another tax bracket.
No, I'm not saying. But what I'm saying is that we're talking about debt at this point in time, right?
Yeah.
So if they're always you got garnishments on your doggone on your check or whatever.
Oh, because you ain't fixed it.
Right, because
the IRS don't play, man.
You know what I'm saying? Because you do have the option to be able to call them and get things situated. So if you're not doing that,
and then be like, no,
that just tells me that you're not a person that is good with paying your bills, responsible. You know what I mean?
That's true.
So that gives me an inclination of what I'm going to be dealing with and whether or not I want to or not. That's what I'm saying.
Right. That makes sense. I get that part. Yeah.
So
I feel convicted right now. Don't feel convicted, Bree. Trees. We all got bills. If you stay up on your bills and you playing your credit cards down and you adulting, we all got. First of all, COVID knocked a lot of us out, and a lot of us is just catching back up, going back to work. A lot of us still working from home. So it was a lot of things that happened. But what we trying to say is that when you date, like when is the best time to start talking about it, and and you have a right as a man and a woman to say what you won't deal and what you won't deal with, what will and won't deal with. Yeah. I mean, credit for me is not a deal breaker, but if we getting together and we put our finances together and I see that you got more debt than me and you're not paying it, then I'm not even gonna. It's not happening because I'm not paying nobody else's bills before me.
Right.
I'm not doing that. This is not happening. Then I am not your wife.
Right. That
now, if you come in with bills and we accumulate the bills together and one of us gets sick or something, then that's my responsibility. You gonna come in with $50,000? So we negative right there before we even get anything.
We right in the hole right off the break.
Off the bat.
You know what I mean?
We ain't doing that.
I can't take vacations. I can't do. You know what I mean? Like everything changes.
Yeah, I don't have no payday loans either.
And see, for some of us, you know what I mean? Like, what you don't know is that you would rather have two incomes. Like if you're talking about going and getting a house, for instance, if you want to get a house, you would rather have both incomes on that loan available.
Of course, yeah, you would love to do that.
Than just that one person,
right?
You know what I mean?
You get more house, more acreage. Yeah,
right.
You want that.
You want to make sure that you get a great interest rate. You know, your APR is low. You know, all of those things all coincides with your ability.
First time owners, all that.
Right,
yeah.
All of that. You know, so that's
but you can't come in with -50. We trying to get a $400,000 home. We don't lost it because they're gonna take that all into consideration.
Now, right. Only thing we could do is rent.
Right. Right. They were like, so she was like, oh, so you married? Yeah. Your spouse ain't on here. Mm-mm. Yeah. No, we're not doing that.
Right.
We're not doing that. Unless you do NACA. Unless you do NACA. NACA help you out. But if you ain't doing NACA, you can't put your name on this. That's a problem. If I can't put your name down on nothing.
You can't put your name on nothing.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
And for women, you be careful with these men with child support. If they're in arrears, his support is your support.
Yes, yeah.
You the pappy. You are the pappy mammy. Okay, you the mammy.
Becky says he gonna be a silent partner.
Right, very silent, Becky. Silence of the lambs. Shoot.
Look, people don't look. You don't want to talk about this the finances, but finances will tear your relationship up.
It will. There's a lot of people that's divorced and had nothing to do with infidelity. It's all about finances.
It's all about finance.
Because once finances come in, or you meet somebody that told, like you said, told a secret, and now all of a sudden they got all this debt they didn't tell you about, or a surprise baby. Now you got child support, and you go there, and your check says $16, and they got nothing to do with you.
Your whole heart hurt. You be like,
what?
Like Fred Stanford.
I'm coming for you, Elizabeth. I'm coming for you, Elizabeth.
Look,
now you walking around with resentment in your heart.
Right, I can't talk to you. Now I'm angry at everybody in the house.
Let me tell you something. I know a guy from my job right now. This was years ago when we have certain mailboxes. Now we got personal because people's information. So he's A and I was S, and for some reason, like how the mailbox went across, I ended up under him or whatever. So if you put the name at the top versus the bottom, people take the top name and think it's you and put it in the slot. So either way. Hey Kev, he thanks for the file. I'm gonna follow back. They took his pay stub and put it in my mailbox. So I just took it out and thought it was mine and didn't even look. And it says $16. I said, I worked and did overtime. Wait a minute. I went off. I was like, oh, we gotta call payroll because something is wrong. $16.
Right.
I looked at the top and I said, no, I'm not playing. I walked away and I looked at it and it was his. I said, oh, snap. This man has 6 kids. He married somebody else. And the only reason why later on it came out that he married is because he couldn't afford to live by himself. And this is a person that is working for the city like me. Been on the job longer than me. And you bringing home after taxes and all your garnishments, $16.
I quit.
And I'm going and I'm gonna lay in the bed with you for $16? A happy wife?
I quit.
All you get is a thing of cereal.
Be off the grid. I'm gonna be off the grid because there ain't no way in the world.
No, man. We are out. I'm living in the forest, okay?
Go have to find me. I'm off the grid. There ain't no way in the world.
$16? I'm your wife and I can't even afford to have a baby with you.
Man, look.
And I just took it and after I realized it wasn't mine, I took it and I folded it up and put it deep in his mailbox because I didn't want him to see it because I felt bad. I wanted to rip it up. I was like, $16?
Yeah, I go through my house swinging like Cuba Gooding Jr.
What? Start air fighting everybody.
I'm
Look, let me tell you something. That paycheck is like, F those kids. That's what you want to say.
Team FTK.
I'm telling you, that should have been, we should have took that and made it a daytime. What do you, like you make those them after school specials? Telling our little boys don't have babies and this because this was going to happen to you?
Yeah.
And I mean,
Yeah.
he's out there busting his butt, came to work every day for $16. And that wasn't his first check. I was
Man.
like, So now imagine his wife right now. Now, whatever he can't pay, she got to pay that.
Man, love.
No way. Ain't no way.
And see what women don't or what some women don't understand is that a man's ego and his pride is directly linked with his ability to be able to provide. So
Yep.
if I am not able to provide for my woman, then I feel less of a man. So that'll beat me before you say anything whatsoever.
Yeah.
That right there would beat me into submission to the point where I feel less than an individual. And
he was
that
depressed.
is something.
I know he was. Now I know why he was mad.
Yeah, that's something that look,
man.
when I can't do what I need to do. Like there was a time where I wasn't making the money that I make now. You know what I mean? I wasn't running the business that I'm running. I wasn't doing anything. And I had 3 children at the time, and I was on child support for 2. And because
thanks for the love, y'all. Thanks for the tap.
Because of the low wages that I make here I was working here in Virginia, and Virginia pays less than Washington, D.C.
Right.
And so
you in a communist state. Commonwealth state.
Commonwealth,
Yeah.
And so they don't pay you what you're worth. And
they're not. They ain't pension friendly.
And
I looked it up.
after I got through paying child support, like it was like depressing. You know what I mean? And so I didn't realize how much of a burden was lifted off of me until I started the job that I've been working at now for 13 years in DC. And the pay hike that I got once I started working in DC, right? Yeah. And then I'm able to pay my child support faithfully, comfortably, no problem, even give more money when it was needed for whatever that situation may have called for, but then also live comfortably, and during my regular life. So
that's all that matters.
I have very much sympathy for men that's out here that you know what I mean, because I know what that felt like.
Yeah, I've seen some good men, some good fathers that I personally know that because she made one request that they need to go off for whatever it is, and they just you got your own car, own apartment, able to live outside of the relationship now, and now one little hike, and now you can't live on your own no more because you got to pay child support, and now you lose your car and your house. Yeah. I was like, that can't be life.
Yeah.
So that's why I see how sometimes some men, they get on child support and they quit because they literally can't afford it. But I'm gonna say it doesn't negate. So a lot of women did use child support, and I'm gonna get the subject. A lot of women did use child support as a bitter method to get back at the guy when the man was actually being a great father. And now you again, like how society says, women are always choosing money over the household and over the man because a man that's bitter pay the child support, but now he's not coming around to see his child because he got to stay at work now because the freedom that he did have, he got to make up that money somehow. So I get the catch-22 at the boat, but if a man is doing what he's supposed to do and he's keeping clothes at his house for his son or his daughter, and then he's paying his part, and you got the child 4 days and he got the child 3 or vice versa, then there shouldn't be no child support at all if he's doing what he's supposed to do. So I don't know.
Yeah. But and see, the thing about it was that I ain't have any other choice because, I was having issue with visitation, and in certain states, if they don't set up visitation unless there's because there wasn't a paternal order established, a paternity order established. So I had to go and establish paternity by getting a blood test or whatever. And then after that, that's when they put me on.
Thanks, Bree.
On on child support.
Mm-hmm.
And then the crazy thing was that I had listened to everybody and had kept my receipts or whatever, because I did money orders in
Okay.
regards to everything that I was sending to her, because I was sending money to her, and I kept my money orders or whatever. I said that they still put me in arrears. They still
Let me
put
tell you,
me in
them arrears
arrears.
is the devil, boy.
They
Wow.
are the devil. They still
I was
put me
like,
in
man.
arrears. I still was, it was as if and that was one of the things that hurt the most, because forget everything else.
Right.
Don't make me seem like I'm a bad father. You know what I
That
mean?
part.
That
Yeah.
was the that more than any,
Yeah.
I don't care
That's the
about
worst.
nothing else.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah, I
mean?
agree with that. Yeah.
Just don't put me out like I'm a bad father, like I just wasn't there for my children. Like
Yeah.
that bothered me more than anything else. Like I
Yeah.
can stand being broke, you know what I
Thanks,
mean, as
Trees.
long as as long as I'm taking care of the business or the house or whatever. It's
Mm-hmm.
like that. I don't need money in my pocket like that. I'm not a person that prioritizes money like that. So if I'm broke but my kids are straight, I'm good.
Thanks for
But
joining,
don't make me
Slim.
seem like I'm a bad father, and that's
Yeah,
what
that's the
happened.
part. Yeah, I've seen that happen a lot. I've seen that happen a
Yeah.
lot. I think that co-parenting is not just
What's
about
up, Cherie? Welcome in, love.
just about getting your kids or whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
being vindictive towards each other, right?
Right,
Everything should be taken into consideration. There was a
right.
question, and I guess we could probably do this on another podcast, but it was a question where they was asking a guy that get that the 50-50, like he gets her
Mm-hmm.
3.5 days and the other day whatever, the 3 and 4, right? My
Mm-hmm.
little brother gets my niece like that, one
Mm-hmm.
of my nieces. And the question was, the mother called and said that she didn't have any food in her house
Mm-hmm.
for the kid. I only agree with CS if the parent is absent. Right. Exactly. And me too, Trees. So I feel, so they was asking, is it his responsibility to make sure that food is in her refrigerator after the child has been with him and he got food in his refrigerator and clothes and everything? Like, is he obligated to make sure that her food is stocked, and they ain't the only kid they got?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
is it his responsibility to make sure that now morally, you're gonna say, okay, if you're your man, if you're as a man, you don't want to see a child starve. But if I'm doing everything and my child's been with me for these past 3.5 days, and now he or she's with you, am I still supposed to be putting food in your refrigerator? That was a question that had came up.
My answer to that particular question, and this is going to be difficult for folks to hear, but my answer to that is that if you can't do what you need to do in order for you to maintain your household, then we need to have a different type of conversation where is it more feasible for me to take custody of the child, so
That's
that
what I
way
said.
we know
Yeah.
that the child is going to consistently be fed, the child
Yeah.
is going to consistently
Yeah. Yeah.
have their needs met or whatever. Because now at this particular point, is it from selfish need that you're going to be sitting here talking about, well, da 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 da, or are you going to look out for the need of the child? If that's what is your highest priority. So if you can't do what you need to do, then we
On
need
your
to have a
end,
different type of
yeah,
right. We
we
need
need
to
to go to
have a
court.
different type of
I
conversation.
agree.
I don't need to
I
be
agree.
paying for your household and my household or none of that. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
pay
I
the
agree.
child support or whatever. If the child support in your regular job is not enough, then we need to have a conversation about where the child needs to now reside in
Yeah,
order for them to have the better life, the
I
best
absolutely
life.
agree. Absolutely agree. I agree. I said the same thing. I said we should be talking about custody now, because that's a
Yeah,
whole different thing. Because I guarantee you right
that's
now,
the
if it
conversation we need
was
to have.
flipped and she would call, he would call and say, hey, when you drop off, can you bring some groceries with you? I know the woman would do it, but not without a mouth, not without
Right,
going in. Oh, I'm not sending
right.
my kid over there. Oh, I'm keeping cat. Like, you can't. You don't. Maybe go. We need to go to court. So I think it's the same thing. Bree
Mm-hmm.
said the only thing that matters is the care of the kids. Trees. Just make sure it's not happening all the time. And then Bree said the parents need to be stepping up as equally as possible, both physically and financially. I absolutely agree, Bree. Because I think Treese also said about and then she said the kids gotta eat. Just send them $50.
Just send who $50 because
Saying the father send the $50 to the kid after he if she gets there and the kid don't have no food in the refrigerator.
Well, I mean, look at the well that depends on the frequency of that, right?
Right.
Because if it's something that is just a one off
I agree,
type
Bree.
situation or whatever like that, I can understand that.
Yeah.
But if it's a consistent thing where I'm always having to supply your household
Right.
as the father of the child or whatever else like that, well then you know what, I think that at some point in time you need to have the hard conversation in regards to, okay, should the child remain with you, or
Right.
should the child come with me until you, at least until you get your stuff together,
And
right?
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be a permanent thing, but it does have to be a thing where, you know what, who's more responsible for the well-being of this
Yeah.
particular, the welfare of this child.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I
Yeah,
know, treats that the child gotta eat. We'll talk about the logistics, but the whole point about it is that the question was, is the father obligated to make sure that that there's a stock refrigerator, also in the child's house versus him having the child. They have equal custody. He's with her one time, and vice
right,
versa. They're split,
right.
right? They're split. So is he obligated? Because
No,
morally, everybody's gonna be mad at, oh, you didn't feed your kid, but then neither did she, right? Because she don't got no
right.
food.
And
She knew
no,
the kid was coming back.
he doesn't have an obligation. Now, it would be out of the kindness of his heart to do it, right? It would be out of the kindness of his heart, but then it becomes how frequent is this?
It's
Like
called joint custody, Bree.
how
I mean,
frequent is
Treese.
this occurring? Because if it occurs too many different times or whatever, now we have a different other
Right.
problem.
I mean, because
Because
everybody falls on hard time. It could be just a moment.
right,
I don't have no
everybody
problem
falls
with
on
that.
hard time. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
agree. You
yeah.
know what I mean?
But
Like,
obviously,
it
the
doesn't.
question made it seem like it was more than once. But that's how they throw the questions out there for you to think and
Right,
assume stuff that we don't know. But I
right.
would say if they got joint custody and I'm getting them 3.5, or you getting 4, I'm getting 3, or you getting 3, I'm
Mm-hmm.
getting 4, then
Mm-hmm.
you should have made this call before. I'm gonna do it
Right,
because it's my kid. But I don't feel obligated because I'm taking care of my house, and I'm not gonna ask you to come over, especially when there's other kids in the house also, not just mine.
right,
So
right. And I agree. I agree 1,000% with that. That's why I
yeah,
said, like it has to be at some point in time. It has to be a it has to be joint in regards to, okay, you know what, like my responsibility to you is, okay, my responsibility to you is the welfare of the child, right?
yeah, right,
Regardless of how I may feel about you or whatever else like that, my ultimate responsibility is the welfare of the child. And if we're in the
yes,
same position and we're of the same like mind, that, you know what, it's it's our responsibility to make sure that the child's welfare is paramount.
yeah,
Then I would say that, okay, no, this time, okay, sure, but if it keeps reoccurring, we need to have a different type of
yeah.
conversation.
I agree with that. Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you, y'all, for coming in and joining us for this topic. We went to child support, but
Good
it
evening,
all,
everyone.
but it definitely goes into that.
Yeah.
So basically, the topic was, for those is watching in the For You hallway, For You page hallway. It was when is the appropriate time to start talking about finances in a relationship, and everything we just talked about. It has everything to do with finances, your credit, credit score, debt. So we both said collectively that debt is definitely a deal breaker depending on what kind of debt it is, and credit score not so much, because that can be fixed on,
That can be
and
worked.
what's
Yeah.
on your credit report, right? And are you duly
Yeah.
trying to fix it, and you're making strides to make it better? That's all I'm looking for. Because
Right.
right now I feel like my credit score is it lowered because of the fact that I fell under another usage, right? So now it's lower than what I would like it to be, not because I did anything wrong other than just use my credit card that they gave me, but I'm making the
Right.
payments. So a lot of things can happen, but if you sitting out here with 400, something like that, you got something on your credit report, you should be definitely utilizing it and working to get it. That's not a deal breaker for me. It's not.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it'll also depend on how fresh your debt is. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
like certain things. I mean, if you got bad credit, got a bad credit score, but I mean, you got debts that's been like 6, 7, 8 years. Okay,
Yeah.
you know what? We could work with that.
Yeah,
You know
definitely.
what I mean? Like, because that, it's just your bad credit score is just based on your lack of information. Because if you start targeting, this, if we start targeting this score. You know what I mean? And start targeting these things that's driving down your credit. Oh, we can get it where you need it to go.
Yeah, true. Exactly.
Yeah. So,
exactly.
But finances is, I think that is, I think it's to some more important than any other topic, because of the fact that finances is going to determine how you live. You know what I mean?
I agree.
The way that you are going
or uncomfortably.
Right, it's going to determine that. So if your finance, if your money funny, your life ain't right.
If your money funny, honey. Somebody said, Tawanda. Hi, Miss Tawanda. Tawanda said, I don't have the patience to work on anyone at this age. Exactly. That's what we said earlier. When I was saying it's not my responsibility to do anything. You were absolutely right. I agree. It's not. I mean, I'm gonna say this. Since she said that, I believe when you are going forth to getting to know somebody and everybody, because we do dating wrong. Dating is data. It's collecting data. It's talking about like the hard questions, the hard conversations, the things that to know. Yeah, maybe let's say when dating should 1 to 3 months, right then and there, you should know something. You should be asking about what's your political views, what's your religion. Because I watch shows like the other day. I watched, it's called Love Is Blind on Netflix, and the guy married the girl. It's like they talk behind the wall. They fall in love before they see each other. They see each other, they get engaged, and then they have a big wedding. And at the wedding, they say, if I want to really go, yes or no. They go through the whole thing, live together, trip, everything. When the guy finally was he done fell for this woman, she had $50,000 in student loan debt.
Whoa.
He still married her.
Right.
And this is what I call a man. And proud of him, okay? He had a house. She was living with roommates. Here go the roommate thing again, right? He had his own house. She lived with roommates. He sold his house and paid off her debt. And paid off her debt. Where is his brother? Where's Fulio? Because I need to meet him.
That you know what that's when you
it's backwards. Care. It's backwards.
That's a good person. I will say that. That's a good person. Don't expect that from everyone. Like, no. If you out there, don't expect that.
Right, where his daddy? Right, where him daddy is.
You know what I'm saying?
What? I couldn't believe it. But so now they're living in the apartment with the roommate.
What's up, Keith?
Why can't I find it? Right. Where him is? He literally sold the house, and I say he sold his house. It was a smaller house, but it was for him. It was just him by himself. But he sold the house and paid off her debt.
Wow.
Now, mind you, that's coming in with, like you said before, with nobody responsibility. I said, yeah, hey Keith. I was like, wow, he took it seriously.
Yeah, and you know what? I can't.
And I'm gonna say this: it wasn't one of us.
And it makes perfect sense.
Thank you, Keith, for the follow. I'm gonna follow back. Yeah, it wasn't us.
It makes perfect. Look, man.
That's right, Bree. Keep going.
That's love for you, though. You know what I mean? Like, because
now love is totally blind. I agree. Yeah, I couldn't believe that. Yeah.
And to each his own. I'm glad that she was able to get that. And you know what? He was just like, look, I gotta do what I gotta do in order, because that pressing debt is going to hurt us.
Right.
And so he eliminated that problem.
He did, but he also eliminated his house. So now and they're going to start all over. I understand. I see the bigger picture, and I guess that's what marriage really is. And I guess he learned that because he come from a 2-parent household and everything. So it was very manly of him. I'm like, wow. It wouldn't have been me though.
Yeah, and
Yeah, but it would have
to each
affected
his
them
own.
though. It would have
But
affected them. You're absolutely
it would
right.
have
Right.
affected them if
Yeah.
eventually down the line. So either you address it now, you're going to address it later.
Mr. Wanda said, but he caused other problems. What other problems he caused? What do you think? What other problems you think he caused, Mr. Wanda? Because because that was the only thing that they really had that I thought was like, wow, it was going to be a deal breaker. But he paid it. He paid it.
Yeah, and say that look, that's somebody got to make executive decisions around here. You know?
Yeah, he paid it. Roommates are that's true because it's tight with it. Yeah, the roommates are going to be hell. Yeah, because now they moving in with the roommate, and I know that's a whole nother situation. You know, so
what?
Yeah, they moved. I told you she would live with her roommate. He had his house. He sold the house, and now they living with the roommate. That's so backwards.
Wait, his house was only worth $50,000?
I don't know what it was worth. He probably owed on it. He probably still owed on it. I don't know what happened, but that's what they did.
With the way that the housing market is this current? Like is this?
Yeah, he said he didn't hear me. Yeah, yes. This is on. You can watch it on Love Is Blind. It was season 1. Season 1 on Love Is Blind on Netflix. Yes, he sold. Okay. You didn't hear that part. Yeah, I said he sold his house. She lived with her roommate, and he paid her debt and moved in with the roommate and them.
That's foolish. That's foolish. I mean, you might as well just go ahead and bring her into your house or whatever I say, and then y'all work on a plan on paying that debt.
That's what I thought, right? Because you got right.
No sense.
That's what I said when I said backwards. Yes.
Yeah, there's no way I would. Nah, bro.
Yeah. When they said, because they do like Where Are They Now? And it's like maybe from when I saw it was like, they was already married for like 2 years, and that was one of the things that he said. Oh yeah, we moved out the house. I think it was like, oh, we got a bigger house. No, he paid her debt and moved in with the roommate. Now you tighter than you was before. That wasn't smart.
What an idiot! What an idiot!
Bree, she said, Ms. Wanda said, hell no.
Right. Ain't no way.
Yeah.
50,000. Look, man.
Yeah, nah. We, like I said at the beginning of this, your debt is your debt. I'm not doing that.
Now, look, if it's gonna cause me to have to live in
now that's struggle love.
You struggling right off the break. Like this like it's and since I didn't pay
right, Mr. Wanda. Nope.
Look, I'm about to say something messed up. And since now you now have to pay. I done paid off your debt or whatever. I need you to submit.
What you gonna do? Go in the dungeon now?
I need submission now.
Wow.
Like, I don't
so now she owe him. She owe him.
Man. I don't want to hear no back talk.
Nothing,
you
right?
Got opinions?
Whatever you like. Whatever you like.
I need old girl from Coming to America.
Right.
Whatever you like.
I like what you like.
Like I done
you
made that type of sacrifice.
Yeah. He love her. He love her, and I pray that it worked. When I see them in year 5, that it works out for them. Mr. Wanda said, but that does not demonstrate leadership capabilities. I agree. Maybe he saw the bigger picture because that $50,000 may be hard to pay off, but I'm not selling my house that I came in and I only knew you for 6 weeks. Nah, I don't love you worth $50,000.
That's wild behavior to me.
I gotta grow to love you. Yeah, that's crazy. Sight unseen for real.
Ain't no way. There's no way in the world.
Ain't no way.
Not to move back. Like to now I go from having my own house to now Nah.
Yeah. Now I'm in this little bed with a roommate, and she probably mad because now she hear us. If I was a roommate, I'd be upset.
Right.
Because I didn't ask for this. This is why people be on Judge Judy with roommates. No.
Mm-hmm. Right.
The roommate like, you paying my debt too since you moving in my house?
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. That was backwards.
Yeah.
That was backwards. partner.
All righty. It has been real.
Real as real could go.
It is
as real could go. As real as real can go. Okay.
Thank you everyone for tuning in to the Male and Female Perspective podcast. This is Jus Comply. I got my girl Shawna, Coach. Let me get the name right. Coach Shawna Speaks. Shawna Speaks. You know, we thank you all for coming through, for sharing the live, for being participants. Please don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, comment, and if you have any topics that you would like for us to speak on, please email us at the male and female POV @gmail.com. We appreciate you all. Thank you so much. Y'all have a good night.
Thank you for the live. My chat, my people. And we're out.
We out.